Ready for moments? So let's start chapter 1 of class 9 supplementary reader Moments The Lost Child by Mulk Raj Anand. Let's start. Chapter 1 The Lost Child. A child goes to a fair with his parents. He is happy and excited and wants the sweets and toys displayed there. But his parents don't buy them for him. Why then does he refuse when someone else offers them to him? So let's read and find it out. But before we proceed, let me tell you the meaning of a few terms. A child goes to a fair. What do you mean by fair? Fair, a market or an event including entertainment and sale of goods. Displayed, showcased, showed. It was the festival of spring. From the wintry shades of narrow lanes and alleys emerged a gaily clad humanity. Some walked, some rode on horses, others sat, being carried in bamboo and bullock carts. One little boy ran between his father's legs, brimming over with life and laughter. Let's understand. So here we have got the setting of the story by Mulk Raj Anand. It was the festival of spring. What do you mean by spring? It is the name of a season and it brings happiness as it is a symbol of life. New life generates, flowers bloom, trees get attired in new fresh green leaves. So the weather, everything, the atmosphere was pleasant. From the wintry shades. What do you mean by wintry? Wintry means cold, without any emotions. There was lack of cheerfulness. Everything seemed cheerless. Shades of narrow lanes. What do you mean by narrow? Narrow means something which is not wide, which is not broad. And alleys. Alleys are narrow streets. Gaily, happily, glad, dressed. Humanity is used here for all the human beings who were coming there. From the wintry shades of narrow lanes and alleys emerged a gaily clad humanity. That means though the streets, lanes looked quite dull, but people were dressed in colorful clothes. They were happy, they looked happy. Some walked, some rode on horses. That means some were coming on foot, some rode. Rode is second form of ride. Ride, rode, ridden. Others sat, while some other people were sitting. Where were they sitting? They were sitting in bullock carts. Bullock is a young bull. One little boy ran between his father's legs, brimming over, means filled with life and laughter. So here, life and laughter of a child is symbolic of energy, cheerfulness, happiness. As already told in the introductory lines that the child goes to a fair. So here we have a glimpse of the fair. You can see the child is there with his parents, balloon seller is there, we can see a merry-go-round in the backdrop and there are many other people. So there is much crowd, the place is quite crowded. Let's proceed. Come, child, come, called his parents as he lagged behind, fascinated by the toys in the shops that lined the way. So, who is the speaker here? Come, child, come. These words are spoken by parents, and the remaining line is spoken by the author. As he lagged behind, now child was attracted by the toys. As it is quite natural, it is quite obvious for any child to get attracted towards the toys in the shops that lined the way. Lined the way means they were there in a row, in a series. He hurried towards his parents, his feet obedient to their call, his eyes still lingering on the receding toys. As he came to where they had stopped to wait for him, he could not suppress the desire of his heart, even though he well knew the old cold stare of refusal in their eyes. Now, hurried means he quickly came to his parents, his feet obedient to their call, though he had started walking to his parents, Yet, he was still looking at the toys, his eyes still lingering. If something lingers on, that stays for a long time, especially because of unwillingness. He came to his parents, but he could not suppress. To suppress means to kill or to put an end to something forcibly. He could not suppress his desire. And what was that? He wanted those toys, even though he well knew the old cold stare. If cold stare is there, that means there are no emotions. Somebody is looking at you without any emotions or maybe angrily. Somehow, he gathered courage and said, I want that toy. He pleaded, he requested. His father looked at him red eyed, means angrily, infuriated. His father was angry, he was infuriated. In his familiar tyrant's way, his refers to his father, tyrant, cruel person, callous. His mother, melted by the free spirit of the day, was tender, soft, and giving him her finger to hold, said, Look, child, what is before you? So his mother tried to deviate his mind. His father was quite angry, but his mother was polite, quite soft, and did not scold. It was a flowering mustard field. Flowering means there were flowers. Pale yellow, like melting gold as it swept across miles and miles of even land. This is what his mother tried to show that to him. So, what did she say, and what was there ahead? What was there? A beautiful mustard field was there, which looked like melting gold, which looked like a precious metal as it swept. Sweep, swept, swept. So, your second form of sweep has been used. That means the field was spread across a wide area. A group of dragonflies, big flies, were bustling about on their gaudy purple wings. Bustling means they were moving energetically and noisily about on their gaudy, brightly colored purple wings, intercepting, blocking, creating an obstacle, the flight of a lone black bee or butterfly in search of sweetness from the flowers. So, what did he see? What did the child see? Child saw a group of dragonflies which obstructed the path of a butterfly that wanted to go to the flowers for sweetness. The child followed them in the air with his gaze. With his gaze, that means his eyeballs moved in the direction of those flies till one of them, the word them refers to those flies, would still its wings and rest, and he would try to catch it. Still means to stop and rest. And then what the child did, this is one of the common activities of a child. They try to catch house flies, they try to catch butterflies. So the same thing just the child tried to do here as well, but it would go fluttering, flapping up into the air. Fluttering, flapping means moving its wings. When he had almost caught it in his hands, that means the child's efforts went in vain. He tried to catch the butterfly, he tried to catch one of the dragonflies, but could not. Then his mother gave a cautionary call. His parents were quite alert. They had known that the child was there with them. Come, child, come onto the footpath. They were quite caring towards their child, as any parent is. Let's meet